modern inventory control techniques. We are discussing inventory management. Among that, we have two different types of inventory control techniques. First one was selective inventory control techniques, where we had seen so many different types like ABC analysis, HML, VED, SDE, seasonal off season, that is SOS. Like there are so many different types: golf, government, ordinary, local, foreign. Like there are so many different types we had seen in selective inventory control techniques. Now this is about modern inventory control techniques. This topic also we had started. I'll just show you where we have stopped. We had discussed initially about just in time. What is just in time? Then what is the benefits of just in time 2, the difference between just in time 1 and just in time 2. The thing is that in just in time 2, there will be the representative from the supplier side that we have discussed. Then vendor managed inventory. Vendor means supplier. Vendor managed inventory. This much we had covered in the earlier lecture. Now, the remaining modern inventory control techniques. Among that, the next one is quick response. Quick response. What is this quick response? You know the meaning of this term response. Quick response means faster responding. Here, they are using electronic data interchange. That is, electronic data interchange means basically they are using information technology. Using IT, they are finalizing the delivery process. This facilitates scheduling, labor, and other facilities. It is quite fast and is technology-driven system to increase the productivity. So under quick response system, what happens when the customer is placing an order? Here customer means the retailer or the wholesaler or the company. When they are placing an order for replenishment, replenishment means for bringing the goods. The supplier, with the help of electronic data interchange or with the help of EDI, they will finalize the delivery details and communicates to the customer. And why this is done? This helps in making the arrangements properly. This also reduces unwanted confusion and will help to improve the overall cost. So this is basically using technology or technology driven cooperative efforts from both supplier side and the company side to improve the inventory management. So here the main thing we here remember is that it uses EDI or electronic data interchange. So with this fast and dependable response, inventory can be ordered as and when required using IT, and this will help in resulting in increased turnover and also improved availability. Main thing is using information technology. As we know, the communication becomes easier and faster. And when this communication becomes easier and faster, that will help in managing the inventory in a better way. That is only the meaning here, quick response system. Then second one, another one over here, that is not second one, it is a fifth one, automatic replenishment or AR. Here, AR enables the suppliers to anticipate the customer's requirement in advance. The responsibility of inventory management is with the supplier. But for this to happen, there should be information flow between the supplier and the customer to make the inventory available. This is similar to vendor managed inventory. So similar to that, here again, the supplier is anticipating. The supplier is expecting the customer's requirement in advance. So the responsibility of inventory management is not with the customer or the company, it is with the supplier. And for this, there should be good information flow between the supplier. What kind of information flow? Information regarding availability of raw materials, the level now, how much they are expecting, those kind of information would be transferred. So this is here what happens. Responsibility, as I told you, is with the supplier. So while this takes away the inventory management responsibility from the customer and gives it to the supplier gets the benefit also here. Supplier gets the benefit of inventory visibility, and this will help them make the management more easier. Because from the customer side, if the customer is almost like, okay, now almost all the activities will be taken over by the supplier, then it is now the supplier's responsibility. Now supplier is having full freedom regarding inventory management, just like vendor managed inventory only. Almost similar it is. So automatically the goods are being replaced with the customer and entire responsibility will be with the supplier. That is automatic replenishment or AR system. Now, next one is Q and P system. What is Q and P system? I'll tell you. What is Q and P? Q and P system is also known in two other names. Okay. Now this is one thing you have to remember before moving into details. Here you can see an important aspect of inventory management is to decide when to place the order and how much quantity to order. So two questions are there over here. कभी order place करना है, कितने quantity का order place करना है. कभी order place करना है मतलब क्या होता है? Some firms place the order or in the first week of every month. For example, August first week I am placing the order. Next September first week I will place the order. Then October first week. That same pattern some companies will be following. Sometimes it could be in another some way. Sometimes it will be July last week, then August last week, September last week. So that is when to place the order. The time of placing the order. That is one way of placing the order. Another one is how much quantity to order. Sometimes irrespective of the days. For example, today is 2nd. Today I am placing an order of 1000 units. Tomorrow again I am placing an order of another 1000 units. So here what happens, the quantity is important. Days, time is not important. Okay, so when we are going into detail, you will understand it better. So this Q and P system, here you can see fixed order quantity system, fixed order period system. That is the meaning of it. Q means quantity, P is for period. Fixed order quantity, fixed order period. So fixed order, fixed order quantity, every time the quantity should be the same. Today I am placing an order of 1000 units. Tomorrow also I can place the order of 1000 units only. I cannot increase the quantity. परसों भी मैं ऑर्डर प्लेस कर सकते हैं अगर मेरे को जरूरत पड़ रहे तो बट परसों भी मैं 1000 ही रख सकते हैं. आई कैन नॉट इंक्रीज द क्वांटिटी विद द सप्लायर. बट फिक्स्ड पीरियड में कैसे होता है? टुडे दैट इज 2 तारीख को मैंने प्लेस किया है ऑर्डर, 2 तारीख को मैं 10,000 यूनिट्स का प्लेस किया है. इधर क्वांटिटी मैटर नहीं करते, बट नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर कभी देना है, नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर आई विल हैव टू प्लेस ओनली इन नेक्स्ट मंथ 2nd. That is fixed order quantity and fixed period. We will see here Q and P system. Here first one, quantity mean the order quantity is fixed. Period mean review period is fixed. Order quantity means every time same order only we can, same number, same quantity only we can order. Here the period of ordering, the time or the day or the date, that period is important. Then रिव्यू पीरियड इज वेरिएबल. इन क्यू सिस्टम रिव्यू पीरियड इज वेरिएबल, मतलब वहां पे डेज या डेट्स का कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. इट कैन बी चेंज्ड. आज भी मैं ऑर्डर प्लेस कर सकते हैं, कल भी प्लेस कर सकते हैं, परसों भी प्लेस कर सकते हैं, बट एवरी टाइम द क्वांटिटी शुड बी द सेम. एंड पी सिस्टम में कैसे है? आई कैन प्लेस एनी क्वांटिटी, मतलब आज मैं 10,000 का प्लेस कर सकते हैं, बट नेक्स्ट I can order 20,000 next month, but that order will be only next month. I cannot place any order in between over here. Okay, so order quantity is variable in P system, period system. Then, how it is beneficial? It is best suitable. Q system is best suitable when continuous monitoring is possible. That is continuously, if we have to monitor the amount of goods, that time Q system is better. And P system is suitable when periodically review is required. Then Q system is suitable for A category items. We have already seen A category items when we were discussing about selective inventory control techniques, ABC analysis. A category items are high value items. B and C category are lesser valued items. So Q system, quantity system is more or well suited for A category items because A category items are more valuable. Then under Q system there is less chance of stock out क्योंकि quantity आज for example 1000 units may I have placed an order of 1000 units and for tomorrow I am getting an order of 2000 units. or day after tomorrow I'm getting an order, I can make them say that okay, I will arrange it within this week. So stock out का chances कम होते हैं, because anyway ऐसे I don't need to wait for another 1 month for replacing it. But P system में there is high chance of stock out. Every time I should see that, expect that there could be a demand in the any time the demand can happen. And next order में अभी place नहीं कर सकता. I will be able to place the order only in the next period. So there are high chance of stock out, shortage of inventory in P system. Then in Q system, normally no safety stock is required. Safety stock क्या होता है? Buffer stock. जो एक्स्ट्रा हम लोग थोड़ा कुशन जो रखते हैं उसको सेफ्टी स्टॉक बोलते हैं. क्यू सिस्टम में इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, क्योंकि एनी टाइम आई कैन प्लेस एन ऑर्डर, ओनली हैव टू जस्ट थिंक अबाउट द क्वांटिटी पार्ट. बट हाई सेफ्टी स्टॉक इज रिक्वायर्ड अंडर पी सिस्टम, क्योंकि नेक्स्ट ऑर्डर आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू प्लेस इट वेरी फास्ट. Then comes under Q system, the suppliers will not know exactly when the inventory would be placed. The suppliers here in Q system, the suppliers will not know, but so इधर क्या होता है, suppliers को हमेशा ready रखना पड़ता है inventory suppliers के पास. But P system में the suppliers will know when the orders would be placing. Accordingly, their planning can be done. क्योंकि आज 2 तारीख को मैंने place किया order, next they will expect my order only in the next month. So they have time to arrange my inventory over there. But in Q system, today, of course, the quantity would be the same, but I can place the order anytime. So supplier side should be more prepared under Q system. This is Q and P system of inventory management. Now comes MRP. What is MRP? Materials Requirement Planning. So MRP ka full form, it is there in different so many other full forms are also there for MRP. Here, when we're talking about logistics management, we are going to take it as MRP, as Materials Requirement Planning. This concept was introduced by a person known as Joseph Oleki in the year 1960. So here what happens, what is this thing over here? It is simply planning. Planning of what? Planning of materials. It is a production planning, scheduling and inventory control system using computers. It is a computer-based inventory management system used to assist the production managers. So what is the benefit? Here it is a tool to find answers to what items are required, how many are required, when are they required. So this is something very important in inventory management. We should know what items are required, the quantity, how much we require, and when do we require it. So for that, MRP is important. It is a type of planning system using computers. These are the objectives. The objectives of MRP are to ensure that the production is happening smoothly. For production to happen smoothly, we need products available on time. To maintain the lowest possible inventory level, because we have already seen inventory ज़्यादा भी नहीं होना चाहिए, कम भी नहीं होना चाहिए. It should always be at an optimum level. To plan purchasing, manufacturing activities, delivery schedules, etc. using computers. Now how it is done? 3 inputs are there. 3 things are used for this MRP to happen smoothly. First one is bill of material, master production schedule, that is also known as MPS, inventory records file. Bills of material means, what is bills of material? Bills of material, just the normal bills which we see. The normal bills, when we purchase, we see the bills. The same thing. Bill of material is a list of all the raw materials, the other products, other components, etc., which are used in the production activities. The normal bill, like when we purchase something, we normally get a bill which will contain the details of the products. That is bill of material. Then comes MPS, Master Production Schedule. It explains all the activities in the firm. All the activities in the firm means entire production activities. Why this is required? It is required because when we know about the entire production schedule, only we will be able to think about the raw materials required or the inventory required for that period. So master production schedule helps to anticipate the production activities. Then inventory records file, it provides normal details like how much inventory is available and how much more we require, from where to buy. Those things are considered or coming under inventory records file. These are the MRP inputs. So what is MRP? It is only the production scheduling, planning, etc. of materials, so that the work is happening smoothly, that too with the help of computers. Now how this is working? MRP process. Using the information from the inputs like bills, MPS, etc., they will understand the net requirement of the inventory. Then it determines the gross materials, whatever is available, and then subtract the inventory, the common process. After that, we will be able to get the net requirement, actual requirement. Once this is done, there are certain outputs also from MRP. Outputs are report consisting these planned orders, order releases, order delivery, etc. So MRP or materials requirement planning is a common practice used in many organizations for helping in the production happen smoothly. They use inputs like bills, master production schedule, inventory records file, and using these inputs and using computers or using information technology, they help in understanding the status of inventory management in an organization. Similarly, there is MRP2. What is this MRP2 then? This is an extension, or in 1980, this MRP technology was expanded to create a new approach, that is MRP2. Is similar only, MRP1 is updated and expanded to include more events under this. Now earlier it included basically only inventory management. MRP2 consists of financial aspects, marketing aspects, and even logistical aspects. So MRP2 is used for covering all the resources of a company. It is also known as closed loop because every items are covered here. It's just like functioning together in an organization. So it will contain activities like production planning, resources requirement, master production schedule. It will also include MRP1 under MRP2. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of MRP 1 and 2? Overall, we can say this is helpful for business, improving. It leads to improvement in overall business. But one disadvantage is that it is all depending on input. And this input contains information. That information should be accurate. If we provide errors, if we provide mistakes, that will lead to complete mismanagement. Another thing is that it will help to minimize the inventory level because we have all the data, accordingly only we have to plan. But it could be costly and time consuming to set up. It will also lead to improved customer service level, but stock out costs are high. Stock out means shortage. Normally shortage will not happen because if everything is planned properly, it will normally not happen. But still, whenever it is happening, the cost would be very high. Then it leads to reduction in production cost and provides better results. And here what happens, one major disadvantage is MPS. The MPS means master production schedule. That also should be accurate so that appropriate information could be provided with respect to the production activities. So here data is important. The information which we are inputting, that is of utmost importance in MRP 1 and 2. Now, this is another one DRP, distribution requirement planning. This is concerned with distribution as it is mentioned in the name. It is again an IT tool for controlling inventory during the distribution system. Distribution कभी होता है? when we are moving the goods to the customers, when we are delivering the goods. This is guided by customer demand, because based on customer demand only we will be giving the goods. So here DRP allocates inventory from the main warehouse to various distribution centers. Distribution centers are also known as DC. DC stands for distribution center. So here whatever stock is available from the main warehouse, it is distributed to various distribution centers based on the demand. Here also we have DRP2. DRP2 includes again extension of DRP1, which includes more points under that like warehouse space, transport capacity, financial flows, etc. Now what are the benefits? There are two benefits of DRP. DRP means distribution requirement planning, where we focus is on the distribution part. It provides on-time delivery to the customers. It helps to reduce customer complaint, better inventory coordination. Some logistics benefit are that it helps to reduce the inventory level and even back orders. It helps to reduce distribution cost, helps to reduce warehousing cost, etc. because everything would be properly planned. But at the same time, there are certain constraints or issues in DRP. Again, similar to MRP, here also we need accurate data, accurate forecast with respect to quantity, location and time of delivery. We also need to deal with variable forecast cycle. Sometimes the forecast may go wrong. The demand may keep fluctuating. So accordingly, we need to plan our activities. We need to maintain a buffer for uncertainty. Uncertainty means maybe due to many reasons, sometimes the distribution may not happen properly. It could be any reasons, could be climate reasons also, during climate very unfavorable climatic conditions, due to shortage of inventory, any reason, we should ensure that there is a buffer is maintained. Buffer means safety stock. So this is about different types of systems we used under modern inventory, or modern inventory, not systems, modern inventory techniques we can say.